Hi, it's a great pleasure to be talking to you today. So I started my career after graduating from Delhi College of Engineering in 1985. In these 16 years or 30 years what I have done, 16 roles or 15 roles what I have done, the fundamental thing which I focused on are 3 or 4 principles, and I would like to share that with you. They worked well for me. It made me Senior Vice President and a Global Head of Corporate Audit from an Assistant Field Engineer, and I believe some of these principles might be of use to you as well. First thing, I focused on making your customer successful, because we all stand for customers. All my life I was in front of the customer, and the only thing I could do, how do I make my customer succeed? And to give an example, what we did for Maruti, had many workshops across the country, and they were wanting to serve their customers, and every customer who comes in to deliver the car, they wanted to make sure the customer is addressed in first 5 minutes and he hands over the vehicle for servicing. And we were providing the IT to customer, and we had experiences the customer had to wait for 10 to 15 minutes, and this is something which was a big showstopper for the customer. So we understood the customer point of view, redesigned our IT solution and the service what we were delivering to customer. End of it, we were able to deliver that 5-minute experience to customer so that the customer doesn't wait for long. The second thing I would talk about is making your team successful, because a team is what makes the company, it makes the organization, and you are as good as your team. So one thing I focused on was that be genuinely interested in the career of my team. All of us come for a job, all of us looking for growth, career, and many a times we don't even spend enough time with our team members to help them get there. You have more experience, and how do you give your guidance and coaching to the team? And this is the one I focused on. I made sure I had a personal development plan, one-on-one with each of my team member, whether it was a 24-year young member who joined me or a 40-year senior vice president or vice president. I had to make sure that I have identified his strength and I give him the path to succeed. In addition to these two, in a few characteristics which I practice, I'm sure would be of use to you. First is learn and unlearn. All these years we keep learning new things, but more important to unlearn and align to the new world, align to the new thought process, align to the new millennial which you would interact with. And this is where I found the biggest challenge. When I started dealing with them, I was dealing with a general manager. But when the 24-year comes with a lot of aspirations and hope and excitement, how do you deal with him? How do you encourage him? And this I took after a few mistakes, but finally got it right. And today I believe each one of my team member who I've worked with is willing to die for me. And that's the kind of confidence I have in my team. Lastly, couple of points which I would like you to focus on. One, always listen. There's so much you can learn by listening. When you're in front of the customer, a lot of times you make a mistake of when we want to go and present to customer, we want to speak for 40 minutes. Guys, don't do that. Just speak for 5 minutes and let the customer speak, because that's what you're going to learn, what the customer wants from you, and rather you forcing your agenda on him. That's one. Second, always believe in your conviction. You may be up against difficult target, difficult situations, but if you believe you can do it, go for it. I have seen continuous support from the management, even if things were very difficult. And I remember the chairman's word to me, Mr. Premji, who I worked for many years. He said, "Deepak, I want you to try. Even if you fail, I'm okay." Now that kind of a confidence is what made me go for it and reach the position where I reached finally. So guys, wish you all the best, and I'm sure there are some things which I shared with you and it will be very useful to you. With all the best.